How's it going, guys? Jumper here, and today we're going to be ranking the all-time NBA point guards list. This will be a pretty quick one, as we're just going to be ranking, the very notable ones, but we'll see how this list goes. So stay tuned. Let's get it going here. Spoiler alert: basketball players. That is all. So today we're going to start off with Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups. It's going to be always hard to rank because the first person is always hard to rank because you don't have context to other people. It's going to be kind of hard. This doesn't really have people's numbers on it, so it's going to be kind of hard. I think that's Penny Hardaway down there. I'm going to try not to stress myself out. So let's just start with Chauncey Billups. I'd put Chauncey Billups in a B plus for all time. He's a very consistent scorer, amazing defender. He's a good playmaker too. He's a champion, man. He was probably the best player on that 2004 Detroit team, next to Ben Wallace. If you want to put Ben Wallace up there, I'm not a huge Ben Wallace fan. Well, I am, but not as much as the average. Don't know if I think this is Hal Greer. I'm not going to rank Hal Greer because I'll be honest, I didn't watch Hal Greer that much. Put him at the bottom here. Who is that guy? Oh, we'll get there. I think that's Deron. Is that Deron Williams? Whatever. Mike Conley. Now, I don't know who I'd put. I'd honestly rather Chauncey Billups than Mike Conley. I'll be straight up honest here. I'll say Mike Conley's not terrible, but I wouldn't put him at the same level as Chauncey. Bob Cousy. This would be an A+. Obviously, the Houdini of the hardwood. I'm just going to put Steph Curry right here because he's the best point guard of all time. Bob Cousy is amazing. He was one of the best passers the game's ever seen, especially ahead of his time. Like, the things he did was never before seen on the hardwood. He's a great defender too, and he's a multiple-time champion. You can't really argue with that. I think this is Walt Frazier. I would put him in A, above Chauncey Billups, but I wouldn't put him on the same level as Bob Cousy. I haven't really watched Walt Frazier that much. I'm not gonna lie. I think this is Penny Hardaway. I would put Penny Hardaway a bit underneath Clyde. Walt Frazier, sorry. I'm pretty sure Clyde is his name for Walt Frazier. I'm not sure if that's... Yeah, actually, don't look me up on that. Man, I'm getting stressed out about looking at some of these people. I think that's KJ. I think that's KJ here. I'm not too sure. Timmy Hardaway. I would put him above him. For Penny Hardaway or Tim Hardaway. Well, I just realized they have the same last name, so that's not helping. I'd rather Penny just because of that length, but Penny didn't have the best career wise just due to injuries. Kyrie, I would definitely put him... I wouldn't put him above Walt Frazier just because he can't run his own team like Walt did. Watch this not be Walt Frazier and I just look like the biggest dumbass. I'm going to be the first or last time though. Yeah, I think that's KJ. I'll put KJ above Chauncey, but I wouldn't put him on the same level as Tim Hardaway. I'd rather Tim Hardaway. And also, KJ is just a shitty person in real life, but that doesn't really do anything for this list. Magic Johnson, you could say he's better than Curry. I wouldn't be like blasphemy, but I would understand. But these two are in a league of their own for point guards. Curry is definitely in a league of his own. Jason Kidd, I wouldn't put him past Cousy, but one of the best point guards we've ever seen. That guy is a wizard. He's got the ball on a string, like most of these guys do. Amazing passers, but Jason Kidd just controlled the game. Not just about... He's an amazing passer and he facilitates, but he controls the game, the way I look at it. I think this is Fat Lever. I honestly don't have much information on Fat Lever. I think I'll watch like maybe one or two old school games of him in it. I'd put Fat Lever under Penny. Timmy. Sorry. Well, technically he is under Penny, so I guess that makes sense. Honestly, I don't know much about Fat Lever. I know he was amazing. He was a good triple. Like, he could get chicks triple doubles as well, but that's just not that important. Triple doubles. They're not gonna score you an extra tier here. Lillard, man, when I put him past Walt Frazier though, definitely better than Kyrie. I rather him than Kyrie. But he hasn't really had much success. Walt Frazier did. I honestly don't know what that is. I'm sorry. I can't tell. Like, I can't tell. It's just a really close up screen shot of him. I wish I could just like hover over them and just know. Yeah, there's no way for me to like just have like the information on who they are. So we're just gonna skip him. Steve Nash. Steve Nash is amazing as a point guard. One of the best I've ever seen. I would put him past Clyde, but he's just. I honestly would put him low A plus. Man, is he ever just one of the best passers? And great thing about him is there's no way you can't play him, because if you give him any space, he's a knockdown shooter. And he will find whatever man. Even if he's driving on 3 different people, Steve Nash will throw behind his back to a 3-pointer. Probably Sean Marion. Good times. Tony Parker, TP. Above Penny. Honestly, I would. That's hard. Tony Parker is a very crafty player. Floaters, little finishing, and it's just he's got some really good moves. But I'd rather Penny than him. CP3, probably one of the most. I would honestly you could say he's one of the best point guards of all time in S tier, and I wouldn't say no. I would put him at low S tier. I wouldn't put him past these two, but Chris Paul is what you want from a point guard. Literally everything you want from a point guard, he does it, and he does it amazing. Gary the Glove Payton. The Glove. He was a good player. I definitely would put him past Penny, just because Penny didn't achieve as much as he did. But I rather Kyrie. Still, Kyrie he might not be two-way like he is, but Kyrie's special when it comes to scoring. Mark Price. I'll be honest, I haven't watched much of Mark Price. I've watched some clips and like maybe a couple games of him, but he was an amazing shooter. He was a very good scorer, but honestly, I can't put him past Penny. I'll be honest, I actually rather have Tony Parker than him. It's just Tony Parker is, you're probably going to get far in the playoffs when you have Tony Parker, especially when it gets down to the finals. He plays different. Big O Oscar Robertson, I would say he's better than Bob Cousy, because this is just as a point guard, he can do so much more than just passing and scoring. He can rebound, play some good defense. Yeah, definitely I would put him there. John Stockton. John Stockton is kind of like Chris Paul. It's exactly what you want from a point guard. Not as good as a scorer, obviously not as potent, but he could still put the ball in the net, and his steals are just out of this world. And just on top of that, just amazing passer. John Stockton. I'd rather Big O than John Stockton. Bob Cousy or John Stockton? That is hard. I feel like Bob Cousy did pretty much what John Stockton did, but just better. John Stockton, I would. I want to put him between Nash and Kidd, but honestly, I'd rather Stockton than Kidd. I don't know why. Just something about Stockton is just. He was an Iron Man. He did not miss games. He was always there. Isaiah Thomas, he's going to trump these guys pretty hard. I would put him past Oscar Robertson, but I honestly rather CP3 just because. But he is a fucking champion though. CP3 has not made it there, but CP3 is such a good point guard. He's just what you want from a point guard, but so is Isaiah. So Isaiah just doesn't have as nice as a shooting touch, but he's better on defense. He's a leader too. He is a leader. He might be, a lot of people didn't like him that much, but he was a leader. Yeah, but these two can be interchangeable. I'm just putting him a bit higher just because he's a champion. Kemba Walker. I honestly have Mike Conley. Kemba Walker's out of rotation right now. He was good, but he's never been on a good team, and when he hasn't done much. And at this point, I don't think he'll ever get better. John Wall, when he was at his prime, was a very good point guard, but I wouldn't put him past Chauncey. And at this point, you'll never get to that level. I honestly rather Chauncey than KJ. Be straight up honest. Russell Westbrook, definitely better than John Wall, better than KJ. I'll put him here. I can't for the life of me. Honestly, I think that's as far as I can put him. I would rather Tim Hardaway Jr. I know a lot of people love Westbrook, but I'm not a fan of him, man. When it comes to winning, with him as your main guy, it's not going to be good. These two at the end, I don't know. Last one is Deron Williams. Darren Williams. At one point, it was him or Chris Paul, who was the best point guard in the league. He kind of fell off a cliff, though. I'm assuming probably some sort of ankle injury. But, man, in Utah, was he ever a potent scorer? I wouldn't put him past these guys, though. Him or Walt Frazier? I don't think I could put him. I honestly rather Lillard than him. And Kyrie and the glove. I would rather Deron Williams over Penny. I'm sorry, I love Penny and all, but he didn't do much. Sorry. Neither did Deron Williams, though. But Penny, when he was... it's so hard for me to choose. Deron Williams was different, though, and he was consistent for so long. All right, so this is my list for all the point guards. We got Steph Curry and Magic. Those are the two best point guards of all time. You can interchange them. I wouldn't be mad. Isaiah Thomas and Chris Paul. Those are like the next best. If Chris Paul wins a championship, he can be put up to bottom here. But as of now, like, I need to see a championship. I need to see a ring. These three here have rings on their fingers, multiple rings. Oscar, he was a great one, but it's hard to gauge how good he was because when I saw him, when I watched some of the footage, he was playing with Kareem. And when you got that guy on your team, it's it's a little bit easier. But Bob Cousy, Bob Cousy, a lot of people would put him even higher, but man, just his efficiency was very bad and just not a great scorer, but a best passer to ever play at that era. John Stockton, these three are interchangeable to me. I love Steve Nash, but these guys don't have rings except for Jason Kidd. He has a ring from Dallas. He wasn't contributing as much, but these two just couldn't ever seem to get a ring, especially Steve Nash. John Stockton was closer to getting a ring, though, and it sucks, but sorry, man. You play in MJ's era. Walt Frazier, I would put him here. I can't put him any higher, to be honest. I've only seen limited footage of him. Dame Time and Kyrie, you can interchange them for me. I would understand, but Dame Time I would rather Dame Time. Better leader than Kyrie. Kyrie just isn't a leader as the main guy on a squad. I can't say I would take Kyrie. Gary the Glove Payton, that is just one of the best pure point guards. Best defending point guard that is here, actually. Deron Williams, Penny Hardaway, honestly, I can't put... Penny is just different, but Penny just didn't have a great career just because of injuries. Deron Williams was amazing, one of the best point guards in the league. Him or Chris Paul, at one point, you couldn't tell. These three are amazing, but it's like they're not going to be your first options on a team ever. From this and on, well, I guess Deron Williams could be a first option, but I don't see it going too far. These guys could be first options, except for John Stockton and Jason Kidd. And these three here, these four here can't be your first options, but they are literally what you want from a point guard. And they do it perfectly. I'm just not a big fan of Deron Williams, to be honest. Russell Westbrook, as you can see, I'm not a huge fan of him. That's as far as I could put Westbrook. I'd rather all these guys here over Westbrook if I want to win. I think it's Fat Lever. He was great, but I just didn't see enough of him to make like a long analysis. These three are pretty good point guards. Chauncey Billups honestly should be I honestly would rather Chauncey than Westbrook. I'm sorry. Chauncey, he's a champion and he can lead a team. He's a good two-way player. John Wall was great, but it just didn't last too long. Just, man, when you're that explosive and quick, injuries are just calling. Then Mike Conley and Kemba, they're good. They're good point guards, but when you have a bunch of diamonds here and then you have like an emerald here, it's just like, it ain't gonna match up. Ranking the all-time NBA shooting guards. We did the point guards, and now it's the shooting guards. And as you can guess, we'll do all the positions and even some six men. Why not? So let's get this list started off here. This is my opinion, so don't shit yourself. AI, that is an A tier. AI is definitely somebody that is, well, definitely the pound for pound best player I've ever seen. But, hard when you don't have a ring. But man, did he ever try. It was just the teams that were put around him were dog crap. Brandon Roy, he had a really nice peak. Man, was Brandon Roy ever fucking explosive. That guy was just, he was great. But, he never really had much team success, and he wasn't amazing for very long. And it's going to be hard to put any of these guys in D tier. Who would I ever even say is a D tier here? Oh, man. I guess we'll have to move him down to D tier because he is the worst out of this whole list here. I'm pretty sure I don't think I would put anyone else with him, worse than him. I would even rather Ray Allen than Brandon Roy, but both of them are kind of similar levels. This is Clyde the Glide Drexler. He's also going to be a B. He's going to be a B. Clyde, it couldn't be an A, but he just, it's hard, man. When you play in the MJ era and it's the same position, this guy just eating him alive. Best of all time is Jordan. There's no comparison to Jordan, the GOAT. I'm sorry. I can't put anyone past Jordan or on the same level as Jordan. DeMar DeRozan. I would put him on the same level as Clyde Drexler. I can't say he would be better than Clyde, because Clyde led his team as the best man. He didn't do much though, but he was a two-way player. DeMar is one of the best mid-range scorers, but man, does he have so many flaws in his game. His lackluster defense has gotten better over the years. He's improved as a playmaker for sure, but man, he cannot shoot threes. D Wade, I would put past AI. D Wade, honestly, if Jordan didn't exist, D Wade would be probably on the level of S. But the question is, would I put Kobe over D Wade? And it's a no. Sorry, Kobe. You could put Kobe up here, and I wouldn't even be mad at you. But MJ just did it, and he did it the best anyone can do it. George Gervin, that's a good one. I honestly would put George Gervin past AI, but I can't put him past D Wade with, I can't do that without feeling like a dirty hoe. I could even put AI in front of him, but George Gervin, I have a soft spot for Gervin. He's just one of the best scorers on this list, to be honest. He's just so good. James Harden, I'd put him past DeRozan, but at this point I can't say put him past Clyde because he's been struggling, man. He's been struggling hard. Jimmy, he's led his team to the finals. He's an amazing shooting guard to have because he might not be the best scorer on your team, but he will be doing everything else. And with 100% energy, he wants to win. That's all he wants. That's someone that you want on your team. Now, Klay Thompson or DeMar, because at this point DeMar has been crazy. I don't know how far he's gonna be able to take the Chicago Bulls squad, but he's been crazy. But Klay is just he's not gonna be the number one as these guys would be, but Klay is the best complementary piece you could ever have on your team. He could fit in any team. Just an amazing defender. I'd say he's better than all these guys at defense. His offense is amazing with his shooting, and he could still drive, and he could still hit his middies, and could even create with the ball in his hands a bit, but I wouldn't be able to put him past. I honestly rather James Harden. Klay Thompson than these guys. He's a champion, and it's just, man, what do you he's just crazy. He's just so perfect. So perfect as like a championship piece. He's not going to be your like no one's seen him like be the best man on Team C where he could take his team, but you don't need that because he's just the best complementary piece a man could want. Manu, I would definitely give him, but I would definitely say Manu above these guys. Manu was, when it came playoff time, even off the bench, this guy was elite. I want to say he's that refined as a scorer as Harden, but Harden has just been slipping, man. Honestly, I'd rather Jimmy than Harden. That's just my opinion. Most people will kill me for that, though. Pistol Pete, I can't for all good sake put Pistol Pete up here. Pistol Pete is probably my favorite on this list here, but man, is Pistol Pete revolutionary and just one of the best passers, but his career was awful. Like his college career is probably the best college career ever, but his NBA career was nothing close to that. His personal issues, mental health, addiction issues, a lot of issues with Pistol Pete. He wanted to be the best man, but it's hard to be the best man when you want to be in an era where flashiness is looked down upon. And was he ever flashy? Reggie Miller. Man, it's so hard to rank Reggie Miller here. I honestly Reggie Miller over these guys. But again, Klay Thompson is just such a perfect piece for anyone. Honestly, I'm going to drop down DeRozan to C. He's good, but I just can't put him that far because he's good, and I'm like kind of riding off the hype I see him doing in Chicago right now. So that's why he's a bit higher. But yeah, T-Mac, for his career, it wasn't the best career, but I guess he did get a chip running the bench of the Spurs. But he was a special talent. I'd put him over Miller. Oh man, he was so good, but he didn't really win anything. He didn't have many good teams, and it's just he can't be the number one guy. But I still rather Klay, but he's better than these guys. VC was good. He didn't accomplish much as the best man on his team. Definitely put him above DeRozan. Fuck, honestly, I just don't. These guys are not on the same level as these guys. Yeah. Honestly, I'd rather Jimmy just because he does everything for you. Just not the best scorer, but like he's not your main scorer on the team, but he could be your best guy because he'll lead you, and his playmaking is great on top of his amazing defense. Oh yeah. So this is my list so far. I'm trying to see here. Ray Allen. Oh man, I just can't say I would take DeMar over Ray Allen. I'm just thinking it. Like DeMar is great, but he's doing amazing in Chicago right now. But to say he's better than these guys, that's difficult for me. Definitely rather him than Brandon Roy though. Brandon Roy it's kind of hard to rank him because he didn't have the longest peak, but he did have a great peak. But I'm still not the biggest fan of him. T-Mac, I think, has to drop down. Fuck, T-Mac was so special in Orlando, though. All right, well, I think I could be here contemplating in my mind, but this is my list. This is who I think is the best shooting guards. There's no debate on the S tier, but everything else is up for debate. I don't think Kobe and D Wade are anything other than 2 and 3. You could switch them around. Other than that, this can all be, honestly, at this point, AI or George Gervin. I rather AI. George Gervin didn't do much in his career, championship-wise. I don't think, actually. Well, he was in the ABA. Never watched ABA. Sorry, it's so hard to find ABA games. Like I've watched a couple, but Mel Daniels, yeah. Like I've watched a couple of games with Mel Daniels in it because I just wanted to figure out how good he was because everyone was talking about him. But ABA is just on a different level. All right, well, I'm looking at this and I'm kind of a little bit happier that I haven't put these in their own category. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I think this is it. I think I'm happy with this list. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know down below if you would change anything and how much of an idiot I am on a scale of 1 to 10. Am I missing any shooting guards here? Let me know. Other than that, thanks for stopping by, guys. It's been Jumper, and yeah, au revoir.